BeastNet is brought to you by James Safety Services in partnership with OCR Buddy and OCR Strong. Here we discuss all things OCR and fitness related. Welcome to BeastNet.
Hey everybody, it's Mike with BeastNet here, and today I've got with me Dave. We all know Dave.
Howdy.
How you doing, Dave?
I'm a little better now than I was yesterday, but
Well, I'm sure. Yesterday was a very emotional day, and I apologize that I wasn't able to be there. I was out of town for work, so
that's all right. I got a big shout out to Brother Boggs for being there. It was really cool to have that support, and I appreciate it.
Yes, I was glad that he could be there. Yeah, I was stuck out of town for work and didn't get home until today.
Well, glad you're home.
Yeah, so thankfully it's out of town can be fun, but at the same time it's like I want my bed.
Yeah, exactly. Like I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people, because I got put up at a hotel at a casino, and not once did I gamble. I'm like, it's just, it's not my thing. I know a lot of people are like, woo. I'm like, I got better things to spend my money on.
It's not mine either. It's like I want to go do races and buy Harley parts. I don't really want to go waste my money at a gambling table.
No,
I'm all right.
No. So how have you been? I know it's been a rough time. It's been a little bit since we talked. I mean, how has Dave been?
A little overstressed, a little overworked. No, I mean, my job's great. I love my paying job. They're wonderful folks, and but there's always the stress that comes with that. And then, trying to church life and ministry work and keeping up with my training and my races. And it's, some people will tell you that, oh, I understand how you feel, death is a hard thing, and you've got to do X, Y, and Z, and you'll turn to them and ask them like, okay, but how many people you have in your family? Oh, I've got my wife and my kids and my mother and brother and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I got me.
Yeah.
It's a little different, but so I am grateful, like I said before, I'm grateful for all the support from BeastNet, from you, from my church family, from, my gym, etc. Because without it, I couldn't get through this stuff. So.
It's tough too, because I mean, it's one of those things we all deal with loss differently. I mean, everybody does. And like you said, I mean, some of us have bigger support systems than others. I mean, it's like for me, I mean, I'm the youngest of 6 kids, but at the same time, I feel alone as can be because I don't talk to any of them anymore. I don't do much with any of them because none of them are supportive. So kind of one of those things. Sometimes it's, you got to look to it like, who's supporting you? How much support do you have? Yes, you may only, blood wise, it may just be you now, but you still have a BeastNet family and an OCR family. And I mean, we are here for you. So anything you need,
appreciate it.
We are here. You are family. You honestly, to me, are more of a brother to me right now than the ones that are blood related to me. So
I appreciate that.
Just know that. So for those that don't know, unfortunately, that Dave's dad was the service was yesterday out at Mount Tomo National Cemetery, which is so funny. I went to high school right next to that, right?
Oh wow.
The high school that's there. That cemetery wasn't there when I went to high school, though. They built the cemetery after. But yeah, I went to high school right next to where that is. So when you look out and you see the high school, that was my high school. But but yeah. So it hurts, even my heart to, for everything that's going on for you on that one. But like I said, we're here for you and anything you need. And I'm so glad that, Boggs was able to be there with you. Like I said, I'm apologize that I wasn't able to. I was outside. I was gone for work, but what other things do you have? I know you've got a big thing that you got coming up.
The thing so a few years ago, my dad and I watched, I say my dad and I watched it. We weren't together at the same house watching it, mind you. But on Apple TV, they've got the Long Way series of shows by a guy named Ewan McGregor, who you might know from Star Wars and other films, and then his buddy Charlie Boorman, a famous actor from the UK. And what they did is they did 3 epic trips. They did the Long Way Around, where they went from London to New York going east. So like across Mongolia, Russia, etc.
Mhm.
And they did a long way down where they went from the tip of England, or I should say the tip of the UK, in John O'Groats, Scotland to Cape Town, South Africa. And they did this in like 04 and like I think 07 respectively. And then 2018, they did a long way up where they went from Tierra del Fuego, Argentina to LA on electric powered Harley Davidson motorcycles. So my dad calls me up after watching the last one. He goes, "Hey, David, we got to do something like this." I said, "Well, Dad, couple things. I'm not Ewan McGregor. I just can't call up a company and get stuff for free. I can't foot the bill for everything. So we decided on a group name called NarrowWay Motoventures, and we'll do 3 trips. We were going to do 3 trips, and the one I'm embarking on this coming Thursday, actually, so a week from today, we're calling it the NarrowWay Around, and it'll embark from here in Wenatchee, Washington, to basically the Harley Davidson Museum in Milwaukee, in time for the 120th anniversary celebration of Harley. The trip plan is going to go back through, I think, Sturgis before the rally, like Mount Rushmore, etc. The going to the sun, and then from there, the front door of Yellowstone, because I'm not going to go through Yellowstone this time, up to Glacier National Park, across the Going to the Sun Road, which Dad always wanted to see, up to Calgary, Alberta, Canada, then over to Kamloops, Whistler, which he loved Whistler, Horseshoe Bay, out to Nanaimo on Vancouver Island, back through our peninsula here in Washington State, and then back down to Vancouver, across, 82, back to Biggs, and then up toward Wenatchee again. And it's about 6,000 miles. And one of the things they did in the Long Way series is they partnered with UNICEF. Just a little bit, hop, skip, and a jump. It's fine.
I will tell you, the Highway to the Sun on a motorcycle is gorgeous.
I hope so.
I did. It's been, oh God, I'm going to tell my age. It's been almost 30 years since I did it.
Wow.
But I did it on Golden with my dad, and we went up and over east, and then it was so beautiful. We actually just turned around and came back.
That's awesome.
So that we could see it again. It's cold as hell at the top though, because at the top you're crossing the Continental Divide as you go over the top. It's pretty cool. So yeah.
Well, I'll have enough gear on me, and then what they did with the Long Way series, they partnered with UNICEF from the UN to like raise money and draw awareness to programs that they were doing with children and communities. And Dad and I chatted about that, and I said, UNICEF's kind of out of the picture, Dad, because UNICEF doesn't really do much here in the States. He says, "What about our local YMCA?" Because I have this history there. I've got friends that have worked there and have worked there. So we settled on that, and we would, try to raise money for our local YMCA's new building fund. I just met with a lady named Dory Foster, who is the CEO of the YMCA, and her media guy, Dominic Barry, I can't remember how it's pronounced. Anyway, they love the idea. They think it's a really cool notion to try to, help out the Y and give their members something to be excited about. And it was just really cool to be able to get back to our community like this. And they're going to have a map at the Y that like details my route. Like I told her, it's just, if I raise $75 or I raise $7,500, it's $1 more than you had yesterday. And it's something that honors my dad. And then, if we get to a part where I have to alter the trip plan, if I have to cut the Canadian part out because Alberta's on fire, which it is right now, that's what I got to do. It may be 6,000, maybe 5,000, maybe 7,000 miles. But this trip is scheduled for 28 days. I'll be leaving on the 6th of July and coming back the 2nd of August at noon here in Wenatchee at the back door of the YMCA, or the back parking lot, of the YMCA. That'll be my start and finish line. And I've already had people tell me that I'm crazy for, you're pushing a really long trip for a really short time. And, I'm going to stop and see stuff, and I'm going to take my time and get where I need to go. But I'm going to have multiple cameras on the bike and with me, and we're going to shoot a documentary that Sterling Silver Productions here in Wenatchee, a friend of mine owns it. He's going to build it into a documentary series that we'll post to YouTube. And you never know, maybe get Ewan McGregor to watch it. That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be kind of cool.
But it's something that Joe DeSena always preaches about doing hard stuff, and this is something that is near and dear to my heart, especially since Dad won. Dad and I had actually planned on doing the trip this year if he had gotten better, and if he wasn't able to ride, I was going to give him a sidecar for one of my bikes, and he was gung ho about it. It's like I told people at his like civilian funeral, because we had the military one yesterday, and the civilian one was October. At a civilian funeral, I said, I guess I'm stuck doing the ride, so got to do it.
Yeah.
But if people want to meet, if they want to meet me at the back parking lot of the YMCA on the 6th at 9 a.m., the community is invited to come out and see me off. Any motorcycle riders in the area who want to, ride out with me, that's cool. Coming back on the 2nd of August, of course, it's a weekday, but we're going to meet at a place called Martin's Marketplace in Cashmere at 11 a.m. To do basically the victory lap, and people can meet, cages can come and bikes can come and meet me there, and then we'll just ride in together into the Y, and all that's where I'll cross the finish line. So
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be hard work. I have 3 different motorcycles. I've got a couple of big, Harley like cruiser bikes, and I've got one called the Harley Davidson Pan America, and Pan America is more of like your adventure style bike, like kind of like they use in the Long Way series, except made by Harley. So I was talking to Dory about this, and I told the dealer, Harley dealer I've been working with is down in it's Apple State Harley out of Yakima. They're our dealer of record in this area, and they looked at me like, "You're taking the Pan America? Why?" I said, "Well, the bike can be overloaded because it's built for that. I don't know what the road conditions are going to be, because I've never done this kind of trip before. I don't even know where I'm going to stay most of the time until I get where I'm going." And I said, this would be funny if my father, who was 125 pounds on a good day, would laugh at his 300-pound weightlifting OCR running son on the back of a rather small bike riding across the country. He'd find that hilarious. So it's like, it's Dad's last hurrah. There we go. So
yeah. Well,
go ahead.
I mean, it's amazing. I commend you. I mean, it's one of those things, as someone who, rode bikes, I mean, it's been a long time since I owned a bike, but I did for years. That kind of trip is brutal. It can be tough on your back and your body. But it can be amazing at the same time to see the world and the US on a motorcycle. You can see so much when you remove the cage.
Oh yeah, totally.
And it's just amazing.
I've got some pieces. So you mentioned that about the back and whatnot. So I've got some pieces in place that, if OCR has taught me anything, run safer and smarter, not harder. I've got a back brace that will go across my stomach and then come across each shoulder to pull my shoulders back, so I'm not doing that, not leaning over.
Yeah.
So, and then I've got for when I do camp, because I'll have camping gear with me, I'm going to try to stay in like, some motels and stuff to be able to have an actual bed. But I've got my camping gear, and there's a device called the TRX, if you're familiar with that. I've got a TRX strap with me so I can hook it up to a tree and do workouts and stuff. And I've got a map of Planet Fitnesses, and people have asked me, "Are you taking a break for a month from your workouts?" I'm like, no, I need to keep going.
Yeah.
So that's not an option. But I'll pull over at Planet Fitness and go in and do a workout. And I'm glad I've never used too many Planet Fitnesses across the nation, but I've looked at the route, like I can hit all these places, and there's one there, and there's one there, and there's one there. And that's why I bought that membership. But my local gym, Works of Wenatchee Valley here, have been behind me 100%. And they've been a great support of stuff I've done at OCR and this trip as well. And it's nice to, go there and train and let people know what's going on. And they're all being real supportive. And of course, the YMCA's, they're loving this idea. I've had so many people already come up to me, "Hey, I saw your article in the news, and dude, that's awesome. How can I help?" And but I know that the end of August, I've got a trifecta weekend coming up in San Jose. So I've got to be, come back, recover. I got dental surgery like a week later after I get back. recover from that, and then it's on a plane to San Jose. So hopefully,
Just got to keep going. Keep
yeah.
going.
And I don't like the idea of being idle.
No.
I mean, I don't like the idea of just, sitting and relaxing is fine, but I don't like the idea of just, well, I'm just going to sit here and watch TV for a month because I did this month long. No, I'm going to go back to training. I'm going to keep my workouts going, and see you in Dallas. But
Which it's one of those things we got to do. I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, I made the mistake, and I've mentioned on the podcast before that after the Ironman, after failing once again and crashing, I let it get to me mentally and physically. I mean, physically, my knee needed the break. So, but I took way too much and took a real break when I should have just taken slowed down, and because of that, I've lost some of the gains I had. I'm having to work. And I mean, at our age, it's tough to make it go away, but it comes back quick, and that's kind of the problem that I've been running into. I just did over the weekend, I did the Sisu, which once again, I loved it. I mean, I love it every year. Like I tell everyone, if there's any event that I would come back to Seattle, if, once I move and, leave the area, I would come back every year for that event. The Sisu is the best event in Washington right now.
Wow.
It was amazing. I mean, it's 24 hours of running. My knee decided it really did not like this. I mean, it's okay, this wasn't a good thing. But I mean, because I did, and this was actually the least amount I've done any year. I did 28 miles with about 6,000 feet of elevation.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, it's a lot of climbing. You're up and down hills. I mean, you're up and hiking, but I don't know if you saw the pictures.
No, not yet.
If you look at the pictures and the videos from the views that you get are amazing. I made sure not to show the one where my teammates were yelling at me as the safety guy climbing out onto the rock. With 200 feet of drop on either side of me, and I'm perched up on the middle of this, this rock, straddling it, taking pictures, and they're like, "Really?" Like, that's why I'm the safety guy, because I do stuff I'm not supposed to. Yeah. All of a sudden, I just hear this. What the hell are you doing? I'm like, yeah.
I love it. Well, did you hear about Denver? What happened there this year?
No.
So I went to Fort Carson, Colorado. I've never been to. I actually I want to shout out to Budget for a second, because they just charged me $250 because of mud in the vehicle. There was mud in my rental car because obviously you're in a mud run. Yeah. And they told me that it was too much, and then I actually owe them money because I violated the rental agreement, even though I paid the insurance. It's like, guys, I told you when I walked out the door there would be mud in the vehicle. It's a Jeep. It's what it's for. Just clean it. So anyway, won't be renting from Budget again, ever. But anyhow, got to Fort Carson, and I'm on the beach. They're saying, "Oh, it's a relatively flat course." That was a lie. That was absolutely
never believe that. Never.
Full honky, because it was fine when it was flat. It was flat, but it's kind of like the one Monterey, where it's like, oh, one of the hills has switchbacks. Okay, this is fine. And then one of the mountains is straight up the side of the mountain. And every time we went up one of the mountains there, it was straight up the side of the mountain.
Yeah.
So it starts to rain at one point. I'm almost a mile. I think I'm about mile 8. I'm at the box obstacle. And I'm trying to hike up the road. It starts to rain. It starts to hail. And we're talking like golf ball size hail. I mean, it was bad. So I dive under a tree. And then now we find out there's lightning all around. So I'm stuck under this. Actually, is a bush, but whatever. And I got all the rest of the racers that were around me have turned around, went back to the box. And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm right here. I'm all right. Just don't worry about it. So then the hail comes in, and I'm getting pelted a couple of times. It was enough to hurt, but then that turned back into rain. So they're telling us, okay, we're shutting the race down. We're done. Get back to festival. So I try hiking up the road, and now the road's turned into just mush. I'm not getting up that road at all. So I turned around, hiked back to the box, and the 2 poor volunteers, which those guys were awesome, were there. And they said, well, if you have enough strength, get back to festival. I said, send a truck. You guys stop me. I'm not moving. I'm not going to be able to get back to festival. So they sent a truck, came and got me and a couple of racers, and they got the volunteers and got us out of there. Well, as you know, the guy driving the truck, he's a staffer, and he's shouting at people who are still trying to complete the event. Get back to festival. The race is shut down. We can get our medal, right? No, go back to festival. Well, anyway, so first
I
time,
want the medal.
yeah, well, first time I'd ever seen that. The people that ran through it fast, like your elites, your age group, I mean, they got their medal, they completed it. So again, I'm about mile 8, right? And I'm kind of distraught because it was in honor of my dad. It was an honor series race. I told him every year I'd do an honor series trifecta for him, at least one honor series. So I get a message when I drive the 90 miles back to my hotel in Denver, because I was in, you know, Denver's here, Fort Carson's way down here, and I didn't know I could fly into Fort Carson. And it says, hey, by the way, if you're kicked off course because of the weather, come back tomorrow between 7:15 and 7:45, and you can do a 2.2 mile loop to make it up. And we'll give you your medal. Like, okay. Showed up the next day, did a 2.2 mile loop, and I'm like, that's the shortest beast I've ever ran. I'm good. So I got my medal, and then about when I got the super done on that Sunday, and I had already ran 2 honor series races in Monterey the weekend before, so I've already got my honor series trifecta. And for those of you that listen that don't know, the honor series is honors military veterans and first responders through Spartan. And so I'm getting the beast or the sprint, no, the super. There we go. I got it done. I'm sitting on the stage and I'm looking at the clock and I'm looking at the weather report and I'm watching the cloud patterns around me, and I'm like, I recognize all of that. Okay, hey guys, it's been fun. See ya. And got back to the Jeep and headed north. So I didn't get my trifecta weekend medal, but at that point I didn't care because I'm not getting stuck on a course again.
Yeah.
But that was an interesting. I've heard stories of people get stuck on courses or get, you know, a course shut down on them, and I've never had that happen yet. But that was for my 60th Spartan race. That was like, okay, Dad, I see what you're doing, champ.
He's got to make sure he challenges you. You got to, you know.
It was too, and you know, it was fine. And will I go back to Fort Carson next year? You betcha. Will I rent a car from budget? No. Will I complete all those mountains? Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was. Like, again, I've never been to Denver. I didn't know there was cacti that high up in the, like that elevation. There's cacti everywhere. I mean, it's all over the place.
See, I've only been to Denver, and it was never for a race. It was years ago before I started racing. The company I worked for, I had to go there and do some training, but I never actually left Denver. I was, you know, we stayed in Denver. I went to the bar across the street from Coors Field and looked at it. But yeah, that was back in my drinking days, and we handed the division manager a $500 bar bill in like less than 30 minutes.
Dang.
I can
see how that would happen. I can see how that would happen. Well,
that was 3 of us. There was only 3 of us.
Holy cow, man.
Yeah. Wow. I used to drink a lot. So
I still don't, but the Denver was interesting. I mean, I didn't spend a whole lot of time in Denver proper. The funniest thing to me was when I rented a Jeep, which that was, again, poor decision, because it was absolute trash. But I go to the gas station down the road from the rental car place, and I'm wanting to get something to eat, something to drink, because I just got off the airplane. And I look at my GPS and it says I'm on Wenatchee Street. Hey. And I live in Wenatchee, Washington. I'm in Denver, Colorado. And well, if that's not a sign, I'm not sure. Okay, that's cool. Take a snapshot of that because nobody will believe me. And but the race was really cool. It was very well thought out, very well done. Well, it's kind of funny because you get to that first like down the mountain kind of thing, and it's literally down the mountain. It's just, I mean, it's nice and steep down this mountain. On the Beast, well, a little bit of the Beast, I got to race with Team Oscar Mike, and nice. That was cool. They had a gentleman out there that was a single leg amputee, and it was just cool to watch that whole team just support him. And I'm not sure he made it the entire length of the Beast or to a cutoff point. I'm not sure he came back the next day. I'm not sure what happened there, but it was cool just to watch this guy's wanting to give up, and the whole team's like, no, man, you got this. And it's really cool to be able to run with them and support like what they're doing.
Oscar Mike's amazing.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic people. But I hope to get to run with them again sometime this year. But it's like, where's my t-shirt? When do I get a t-shirt?
Yeah, see, I normally run with More Heart Than Scars, but I mean,
Mhm.
Oscar Mike, if I get the chance, I ran with Oscar Mike. It was a couple years ago, but I ran with them a little bit.
Yeah,
so they're a great group.
I told Don I had to get my Oscar Mike shirt, and I had to get my More Heart Than Scars jersey for one of our races coming up. So
Oh yeah. Yep. I wear the More Heart Than Scars occasionally, but I have my Beast Net ones that I wear too.
well, I gotta get that one too. So I have the whole collection.
Yeah, I know this weekend when I was doing the Sisu, I wore my Beast Net, my two different ones, because I have a purple one and a red one for the Beast Net.
Right.
And then I wore my hoodie. I had the More Heart Than Scars hoodie, the so
Nice.
I tried to represent everything while I was out there, but because it got cold. That was one thing is I tried taking a nap for a couple hours. And it was like I was laying there and my knee was throbbing and it was just so cold. I was shivering and I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna go hike some more. So that's how messed up my brain is. It's not like, well, let's lay here and try and get warm or find a way to get warm. It's like, nope, I'm awake. Wear my shoes. Gosh. Let's go hike some more. Let's go hit another one. Let's go do another trail.
Sounds like me after a trifecta weekend in Seattle and get my tail back here to be able to work out at the gym. Like, Dave, you just got back from. Like, yeah, I did.
Well, that was the bad part because I had I love my Ultras, my Ultra Kings. But they quit making them like over 2 years ago now, like right before COVID. I think they quit making them.
Oh, the King MT or whatever.
Yeah, the King MTs.
Yeah.
Well, they finally blew. I knew they were close. I knew they had like maybe one race left in them. I got the second loop. So I was on mile like 10 and they blew out on one side. And so that kept getting dirt underneath. So by the time I finished, I had like the bottoms of my feet are bruised. My right foot is bruised from stuff being underneath there. So I was like the last probably 15 miles or so, I was hiking and going up with like the bottom of my feet were bruised. So Monday, like this week, I've been gone all week. I was teaching in Anacortes and I usually pace when I teach. And I was teaching 10-hour days because I taught a 40-hour class in 4 days. So I was teaching 10-hour days. And
you were pacing, were you?
Not much. I was the first 2 days I was sitting down. I got these like feet things that you could get that were like these wraps that you put on your feet that like you feel great or whatever, like Dr. Scholl's, whatever. They work really well actually. So I was using those at night in the hotel room. And then by today I was able to walk and I'm supposed to be golfing 18 holes tomorrow. So we'll see how the feet feel then. So
well, one thing I ran into in Fort Carson, I bought a pair of Brooks because one thing I ran into in Monterey, no, it was Phoenix. I went to a Fleet Feet store, and I explained what's going on. Like, here's what's happening to my feet, and the guy says, "You're not wearing wide enough shoes. Like, simply put, you need to fix your shoes." So he put me into a pair of Brooks, regular shoes, and then like the OCR style trail shoes. And those Brooks, I used them on the Fort Carson race, and they felt amazing until I hit a rock. Because once you hit a rock and you're like the arch of your foot and kind of thing, I felt the whole thing just jam right up my leg. Yeah. And I don't have plantar fasciitis. I've already proven I don't have that. So I did a little research, and the Brooks don't have a rock plate in the shoe. Whereas La Sportiva, I think they're French made if I remember right, they make a wide shoe and they have a full length rock plate on the entirety of the shoe, but the shoe can still bend and whatnot. So I bought a pair of those just as a test, and I'm going to use those this weekend in Portland for Rugged Maniac. Rugged Maniacs, I mean, there's nothing really, you're not going to run into a bunch of rocks there, but we'll give them a beta test. Fun. Yeah. I'm hoping to get, so I was talking to my buddy going with me. Last year we got 2 laps in, we tried to mount up for the 3rd lap, and they told us, "Oh, you're too late. It's cutoff time." Yeah. Well, they cut it off like 30 minutes before the last wave was supposed to go out. So instead of being out at 1, they cut the last wave off at 12:30. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to them. I'm going to get there like 7 a.m. on race day on Saturday and politely explain to them what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and why I want 3 laps, because I made a promise to Dad. Yeah. Because and see, just like You don't have to worry about it. Just if I'm back up, it should take me an hour to an hour and a half each lap. I should be back plenty of time by 1, but just let me go. Don't stop me. And that way I can talk them through it. But Rugged Maniacs, just because like I think you say it, and I didn't agree with you beforehand, like when I first heard you say this, but now that I look at it, you got a point that sometimes Spartan, as far as obstacles go, gets a little boring. Even though like I can't do all the obstacles yet. I can't climb a rope, yet. But it's like, okay, but it's the same thing. It's the same bloody thing. And with Rugged Maniac, it's a little like, you got 25 obstacles in 3.2 miles.
Mhm.
You've got, and they change them every year. So it's like, I could definitely understand some variation, being the spice of life. But I also understand that, Spartan wants to make things an Olympic sport, and maybe they're kind of losing sight on, oh shoot, what am I trying to say? They're kind of losing sight of what Spartan used to mean.
Yeah.
But I'm not telling Joe that.
I'm going to be, and I'll be honest, and it's one of those things. And I mean, I know I'm going to have listeners that are going to get mad at me for this. At this point, I'm only ever doing Spartans if I do them with more heart than scars. I am not going out of my way to do a Spartan. I'm fed up. I've had issues. The staff that they have now, I don't want to deal with. They don't respond. They don't do anything. The street team is a joke.
Really?
Or the ambassadors or whatever is a joke. I wouldn't do anything with any of them. And I mean, it's whatever. I love Spartan. I've loved Spartan for years. I mean, everybody knows this.
Sure.
The way that I was treated by staff members on, of the ambassador team and everything else just completely makes me want nothing to do with it.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Where there was issues, I went to the person's boss to talk to him, will not respond, went to his boss. His boss says, well, I'll make him respond, but the guy still won't respond. So it's like, I'm getting no respect for someone who's done a lot. At least I feel like I've done a lot to help Spartan and, do everything. And for a company that built themselves up off of, the backs of volunteers. And that's how they treat him. So it's one of those things. I don't want to completely knock him because I mean, I do love Spartan. I've loved Spartan for years, but as it is, I'll be honest. I don't think I could keep my mouth shut. If I saw the one staff member that I have a problem with, and tell him how I really feel.
Well, I'm sorry you got treated that way. I know with, because I'm an ambassador, but I told my contact was that, right now I can't do a whole lot with the ambassadorship because of stuff going on, like what happened with Dad and the fallout of that. And, I'll be there as much as like Seattle, I may work a ambassadorship, but I'm sorry, I can't prioritize your need for my free labor over me doing this event. So
it's the way they treat them. I mean, it's one of those things. It's my way. If you question, you're done. And that was it. A friend of mine questioned something and he was just immediately kicked off the team. I questioned that person being kicked and I was kicked. So after 7 years or 6 years of constant service, helping them out, being a lead at events for a street team, and it was just, nope, sorry, boom, gone.
Dang. Well,
and there's a lot more to it than that, but I don't want to go into too deep because I'm just like, it's frustrating because it's especially being here in the Seattle area, and that's all we get. Well, we get Spartan and Tough Mudder, and that's it. And it's the same people now.
They've always treated, I will say this, they've always treated me fairly well, but I've never been like a high level person. And I've only been a couple of years on that team.
And up until this event or this instance, I had been treated very well.
Right.
And this was just complete disrespect. But I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, you get that as a company grows. Right. So it's just, like I said, for me, I'm just going to step back. I'll go do stuff with my teams, more heart than scars and everything like that. And I will go help and support. But I'd already started leaning towards, Ironmans and triathlons anyway. So it's kind of like, I think I'm going to fade away from that stuff. But once I move to Texas, I have my choice of races.
Yeah, there's that punk.
Well, hey, I mean, the one thing that me and Amber have talked about, that when we buy a house down there, it has to have a spare bedroom.
Yeah, there you go.
So that all of my OCR friends and family, and that includes you, Dave, has a place to stay if they want to come down there
that.
for races. So
I appreciate that.
that
As
doesn't
long
go
as I'm
for
not
all of you on
racing,
here. No.
as long as I'm not racing in the summertime down there, I'm golden. But
Yeah.
I will actually be in Dallas on my birthday. I won't say what day my birthday is, but so I'll be I'll be down there for that weekend. I told my friends here that we'll have to go out to dinner for my birthday when I get back. And they're like, why are you going down there on your birthday? Again, made a promise that I'd go down and do that. And so I'm gonna go do it.
So which one are you doing on? Is that the Dallas Ultra?
I'm not doing the ultra. I'm not even qualified to do that.
The Dallas Beast?
I'll be doing the B Super and Sprint. I'm not going to say which one's my birthday, but see, for those of you listening, Mikey here saw me on the Dallas Beast 2 years ago, and you were finishing your second lap, and I wasn't even done with the Beast yet. I'm just like, dang, y'all are moving quick.
I was in better shape at that point. I've lost a little bit of that, so I got to get back into it. But yeah, I'm thinking of doing that one that weekend, and then I'm also thinking of because it's in a new location now. It's not at the same place that we did it. It's at a new location. They moved it, but the world's toughest mudder is in that old location. So, and I want to do that one because our one friend, for listeners of the podcast, me and Don will be doing an episode to talk about our friend Charity who passed. Me and her before COVID had talked about we were going to be on a team together and do World's Toughest. So my plan right now is I'm going to do World's Toughest this year, whether it be on a team or whatever, but I'm doing World's Toughest in her honor.
How does that work with could I come down and run one lap and be done?
I think so.
Okay.
I've
always wanted to go do World Stuff, but I can't do it overnight yet. I'm not even qualified to think about that.
Well, I know we're going to be doing some with More Heart Than Scars is going to have a team down there.
Okay.
So
when is it? Do you know?
I'd have to look. I think it's October or November, somewhere in there.
Okay. Well, that might be an option. I mean, even if I fly down there and I'm just your support staff, because you got to have that in your pit crew. But,
yeah. Well, what I might end up doing is running with More Heart Than Scars, but it gets weird. There's going to be like two teams, because the problem that we run into is if you're part of, say I'm running with, the disabled athlete, and on that team, I can only be out on course when she's on course.
Right.
Or we have our own team that can go out when she's not on course and then come back and help her when she decides to do another lap. Because I know she has issues and will have to take a break sometimes.
Right. Yeah, that would be fun. That's another dream of mine, is to run World's Toughest. But I am glad to see. I know there's going to be listeners who are not going to be happy when I say this, and I mean no disrespect. But when they decided to, it's not my podcast. It's all good. When they decided to condense the 24-hour races and only do World's Toughest and not do the Ultra World Championships, it's like, okay, I hate to say it, but from a business standpoint, that makes sense. And I knew there were people that were pissed about it, but
November 4th and 5th in Granbury, Texas.
Okay. Let me see what I can do about getting out there, because I would love to come out and either run a few laps of that. It's what, a 5-mile loop, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Do you have to complete all the obstacles? World's Toughest?
I don't think so. I think you can go around them.
Okay.
I'll
do some research into it and see what I can get done, because that would be remarkable. I know I did sign up for the November 11th. I did sign up for a stadium race in Boston, because I really want to go see I really kind of want to go see the farm, but I'm not going to spend much time to do that.
Yeah.
But I do want to go run Fenway Park, and then I'm looking at the time of year. It's like it's middle of November, Dave.
Yeah,
in Boston. Are you stupid?
It happens.
So we'll see how that goes.
It'll be nice and warm.
Oh yeah,
nice and warm.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Joe invited me out to the farm recently.
Yeah,
and Well, because he wanted me to come out and run. He tried this last year too, and I told him that I couldn't because of stuff going on with Dad. And I really respect him for inviting me. I thought that was really cool. But he wants me to run 12 hours of the death race as part of my
Yeah.
weight loss initiative. And I'm just sitting there going, I'm not even qualified to even think about that.
But here's the thing, and I got to say this.
Go ahead.
This is the one thing, and I've heard you say this a few times, that you're not qualified.
I know.
Who gives a whether you're qualified or not?
That's
You
true.
get
That's
out
true.
there and you try it anyway. It's one of those things like
Right.
Sisu. With the first year I did Sisu, I'm like, why am I out here doing it? I'm not qualified to do
Right.
this. I should not be out here. But you go out and you give it your best shot.
That's true.
I mean, and you go out there and you give it your best shot. And if you don't make it, who cares?
You tried.
You went out there and you did more than ever. And I've said this for years. You
Mhm.
beat every single person who's sitting on their ass watching TV. You got
Agreed.
off yours and you went for it. Whether you did more than millions of people did.
Well, it's the same reason I love Hurricane Heat, even though I haven't gotten to run one. Because I got injured at Deca Mile.
Mhm.
My left arm got injured, so I had like a bunch of weakness and crap in it. I did complete the Deca trifecta this year, though, the second year in a row. But so shout out to Yancy Cole for making a really dope event. But when I went to Monterey, I emailed Andy Hardy and said, I can't be in the Hurricane Heat because of doctor's orders, but can I come take pictures? And that's why I love Hurricane Heat, because it's you get to bust your butt. If you fail, you fail, but if you stick through it, you're going to succeed. And I never met Andy before. I just friended her on Facebook a couple of years ago.
Oh, Andy's amazing.
She is. She's really cool.
She's amazing.
And this is going to sound funny. I'm not sure how to say this, but I've never seen a Hurricane Heat led by a woman, and I've only seen a few Hurricane Heats. But both Crypteas at this Hurricane Heat were women, and it was really cool. It was a really cool event, and it was really cool to see. Like, nobody can say these women are wusses because they just kick the tar out of everybody. And
Andy will beat the crap out of you, and you'll love every second of it.
Oh, it was amazing. And I saw one lady and I took pictures. I have a busted ankle. I got a busted shoulder at this point, and I'm out there hobbling along, and I'm sticking with the teams. Like I'm going just as fast as they are, taking all these pictures for Andy and crew. And I get out there, and at one point she had the team they had to take their rucksacks and suspended between two 2x4s. They had to transport the entire rig as a team, and then they get to a rally point, and they had to actually blindfold themselves. And they had one person that didn't have a blindfold, and they had to go up a single track trail to the top of the mountain to go on to the monkey bars. Then she goes, we're going to do something called like hang time or something like that, where one person would hang on the monkey bars. The rest of the team went over and did burpees. And then by the time that person fell, one member of the team had to come over and relieve them, and they had to hang. And but at the end of the event, and I'm just sitting there going, wow, this is just totally sick. At the end of the event, this little lady, a little older lady, she's pushed about 60, if I remember right. She comes up and just hugs Andy and just starts just bawling. And like, this changed my life. And like, that's the experience I've had at something like a Hurricane Heat. And then I say something crazy like, I'm not qualified to do the death race, but so I'm hoping that Joe will invite me back out next year.
Hopefully.
The winter death race I don't want a part of. I don't even want to do that. Does not sound
it's one of those things, and I think it's one of those from like when I was at my biggest and still doing Spartan races, and I had so many people looking at me like, you shouldn't be out here, and I'm like, I don't care.
You know how many people I've had to tell this was not my first race?
Like, I don't care what you think, whether I should be out here or not. I'm doing this anyway. It's like when I did when I ran my first marathon, I did it at over 300 pounds. And everyone's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I told myself I would run one of these before I turned 40. My birthday's in 6 days.
Dang.
So this is it. So I'm doing it,
Right.
and I did it. And I mean, I was so happy though, because I had my good friend Emily, who I love, and Dawn, Boggs, they started with me. Mile 13, Emily was sick. She'd been like battling like the flu up to that point, and she's just like, I can't. And I'm like, oh, thank you for at least starting with me and getting me going and keeping me motivated. About mile 23, Dawn's back started seizing. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, dude, I want to help you. But if I stop moving now, I can't. I'm not going to be able to continue. So I'm like, and he's like, you just need to go. This was for you to finish. This wasn't for anybody else. So, I mean, I pushed and I had people like, I was last. I was it. You know, it just kept reminding me of that movie, Run Fat Boy Run. I'm the last one out there. They're literally taking apart the race course in front of me. You know, and I mean, I even had one of the like, you know, the helpers or whatever that, you know, the marshals that was following me, making sure I was good, like in her car, like, do you just want me to give you a ride to the finish?
No, I'm good.
And I'm like, no, I'm finishing this. I am doing this. I said I was going to do it. And that's one of the hardest things sometimes is when getting out of your own head, because everyone around you is like, you can't do this. You're too big for this. You're not in the shape for this. You can't do this right. And I'm like, you know, and sorry, Don, you're going to have to edit this, but go fuck yourself. I'm doing this anyway. I'm doing what I'm doing it. Whether you think I'm in the right shape or not, I don't care. Whether you think I'm qualified for this or not, I don't care.
That's
you know,
true.
and we have a good friend that's, you know, one of the trainers that twice now has told me that I was not ready for an event. And I just looked at him and said, shut up and get out of my way.
Watch me.
Yeah. Watch me. I'm going to do this anyway.
Well, I had a couple people out at Fort Collins that were making comments like that, and I'm like, because they're looking and they're talking to me about, you know, is this your first race? Blah blah blah. I'm like, no, this is race number 59, just Spartan race number 59.
Yeah.
And they're like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, I had one lady that on the super that dang near just, I mean, dropped her jaw. I'm like, Spartan race 60, here we go. 60? Like, yeah, absolutely. And she's like, wow, that's not including Tough Mudder, Rugged Maniac, Warrior Dash, Bloomsday, freaking, you know,
everything else.
Mud Factor, whatever else I've done. And she's just like, damn, well, you know, just because I'm bigger than you are doesn't mean I can't do this.
No, and that's it. I mean, people get that in their head that you have to look like, you know, like some of the top racers to be able to get out there and do this. No, you just have to have the drive. You just have to go out and do it. And I mean, I would be one of those things. I mean, if Dave was, or, you know, if Joe DeSena was to send me a message right now saying, here's a plane ticket, fly out to Vermont, go for the death race.
He'll probably never do that part. He'll invite you to the death race, but he won't fly your ticket.
Yeah. But if I had to come fly out and do the death race, why not? I mean, am I going to finish? Probably not.
No.
But am I going to go for it and give it my all until like the last part of me says you're done? And then I'm going to do a little bit more. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be one of those ones where to ring that bell, you know, because I can't remember how it is. I know it used to be that you rang the bell when you quit. Somebody's going to have to ring the bell for me.
Right.
Because I ain't doing it. I'm not going to ring the bell saying I'm out. No. Which, by the way, I have that bell in my garage. But I do. I actually have the bell from a couple of the like Agogies a couple of years ago. I have the bell.
Oh my God, I love it. So, I love it.
Yeah. Don't ask how I got it.
You know where they stole that from, don't you? That idea? Navy SEAL training.
Oh yeah. Yep. I have it in my garage. It's from the top of like someone cut it out. I think it was Dave cut it out from the top of a cylinder.
Oh my gosh, that's fun.
But it's sitting in my garage. So
we got to hold on to that.
Yeah, and like I said, don't ask where I get my hands on these.
I don't want to know.
But I get some pretty cool stuff sometimes.
Wow. So. I actually have. It's funny you mentioned this is not as cool as what you got, but I actually have when they used to have the Spartan helmet cut out of wood on the spear throw. I actually have one of them sitting on my wall, and that was the very last buddy medal, if you will, that I got my dad. And on that, and I'll take a picture, send it to you later. But I've got some patches from the races I've done, and I've got the last two. Because I used to get, I do this. I do this for kids now, but here back home. But every race I did, I would get dad a buddy medal. I found out in Dallas that I could do that. And on this thing here, this Spartan helmet, I actually have the last two trifectas from 2021 and 2022 that dad got to have in his room there at the hospital. And that'll stay there until this place burns down or I move or whatever, and it'll get put back up later. But that's for dad. And people have asked me about it. I'm like, just don't even. And it's the helmet still has the dirt on it from Seattle, I think, or Montana, one of the two. No, it's Seattle last year. Still has the dirt. I've never cleaned it. It's like, no, just leave it as it is. Don't clean it. Don't touch it. Don't even look at it. Keep it there and leave it alone. So
I have a couple of my headbands that still have the mud on them.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Dang. That's pretty cool. What sucks is when you go to I had to apologize to Doubletree in Denver because I come back in as I come in, check in, I said, okay, I'm doing Spartan race. Oh yeah, Spartan in Fort Carson. Yes. I'll be doing the Spartan race this weekend. I will apologize now. There may be some mud on the floor of the room, of me getting to the room. I will try to clean up myself as best I can. So after the beast, I walked back in. I got my gear still on. This lady who was just dressed to the nines, or she looked, she's going out for the evening, looks at me and I just love your shirt. Like, thank you, ma'am. Well, why are you so dirty? What have you been doing? And I explained it to her about Spartan races. And I feel bad about walking through the hotel like this. She goes, oh, honey, don't worry. They have cleaning staff. It's fine. So I get to the elevator, go to my room, change, whatnot. By the time I checked out Monday morning, because I had like a 0500 flight, 5 a.m. flight. And I'm checking out at 2 o'clock in the morning after not sleeping. And I go downstairs and okay, to let you know, some of your towels have mud on them. There's mud on the floor of your bathroom. There's no mud in the bedroom area and the living room area, but your tub is going to need to be cleaned because it's muddy. I'm sorry. And they were totally cool with it, but it was just, they were just like, why is there so much mud? It's what I've been doing all weekend.
Spartan race. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, too much fun.
Oh yeah, that's what it's all about.
Well, speaking about quitting, not quitting, that's one thing I was looking at this trip of, there's people think I can't do it. There's people that think that, Dave, you've never ridden that far. Like, well, I did 2,500 miles on one motorcycle ride a few years ago, and then got home, spent the night at home, turned around, hopped on the other bike, did another 1,500 miles for fun. And I also rode from Camp Pendleton, California to 72 miles south of Bend, Oregon, which is 972 miles in 14 and a half hours. So I think I'm pretty well versed sitting on a motorcycle.
You'll be fine.
Oh yeah, it'll be a challenge. It'll be worth it, and it'll be, I intend to complete the route that I've set forth. But like I told people, I had people at my church question me what I'm doing. Like, this is something that I made a promise. This is something I intend to go do, and unless the motorcycle disintegrates underneath me, by the grace of God, I'm going to complete it.
Yeah,
and nothing else is acceptable.
The one thing I could see you having an issue with, which sounds like you've ridden the bike enough that you shouldn't have a problem with this, is the saddle sores. But oh yeah, you know how to take care of that. You know what to do. So it's kind of, this isn't your first rodeo, and it's one of those things I think a lot of people forget. They're like, oh, you've never ridden that far before. Not in one shot, but if you add together all the other stuff you've done, you've been close.
I've ridden.
You've ridden. This isn't like you just suddenly said, you know what, I'm going to go buy a bike tomorrow and ride 6,000 miles, which I've heard people do. That would be a problem. But it's like,
well, the nice thing about the Pan America too is it's an adventure bike, so I can actually stand on the foot pegs and ride.
Nice.
And that's where you can't do that on my other Harleys. And it's like, I'll take care of the saddle sores. Will be fine. I'll take care of that. I don't have, my feet aren't out in front of me like on the regular Harleys. They're more like dual sport riding position. So, stretch your legs and make sure you get off and rest every now and then. If you get to a point, like I'm looking at, I'll go to Boise the first day, which is about a 420 mile day, which, I'll be able to do. And the next day is to get to Salt Lake, and then Salt Lake toward Denver. And then I'll make a decision, where I go, if I go I-80 or I-70, which I'll probably go I-80 because it's asphalt. But if I make it to, if I don't make it all the way to Denver from Salt Lake, I make it to Rollins, Wyoming, I'll pull over and find a cheap motel room or a campsite and call it good. And I don't have to do 500-mile days. No. But like I was telling, the crew here, my mission is to go see the Harley Museum. And that's what Dad wanted to see above everything. I emailed the CEO, CFO, and Chief Marketing Officer of Harley. And then I actually called the Harley Museum and told them what was going on. They're like, we can't wait to meet you. I'm like, cool, all right. So, and I actually asked Joe if I could advertise Spartan a little bit and Decafit and Tough Mudder in my my documentary that we're shooting. And he's like, one word, awesome. Like, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, bud.
Well, and you know how it is. Anything you need from us to help with that documentary or help with whatever, you got it.
Get me some BeastNet commercials, like just 30-second clippets that we can insert in the documentary.
Oh, we can do that even with, because Don uses this video, so we can even use a video of you doing this. So I mean, yeah, we can.
Oh yeah, we'll take that too.
With the whole Deadpool behind me.
Oh, I love digging the Deadpool. But the anybody that's like, I know what I'd love to do. I'll get you guys permission to do this. Is actually put BeastNet as a partner of the expedition.
You have
on
my
the website.
permission.
Thank you.
Now.
So I'll grab the BeastNet logo and just dump it on there. Thanks to all our partners: BeastNet, Apple State Harley Davidson, Wenatchee Valley YMCA, Works of Wenatchee, yada yada yada.
Like I said, whatever you need from BeastNet, you are family. We are here.
I appreciate it. And then I was looking at like different court races, like if there's a race in the area, I was going to try to race it, but unfortunately, it's like the hottest part of the year, so there's nothing, at all until the end of August, and on that whole race course, or that whole expedition course. So there goes that idea. But I've had people tell me, "Oh, it's going to be the hottest part of the year." Like, well, I'm obviously going to have water. I'm obviously going to be hydrated. I'm obviously going to take care of myself. I'm not completely brain dead. Thank you for your concern, but hush your face. And I think the biggest bear for me right now is, how do I take all this stuff on one motorcycle? Crap. But
when I was younger, we used to actually pull a trailer.
You can't do that on my Pan Am.
No, not on the Pan Am, but on the Gold one we did. So my dad what was so funny is my dad had a trailer, and then I would go with him. And one day I came home, I like woke up in the morning because I didn't have a car, I just had the bike, and I went outside to get something on my bike, and I'm like, where the hell's my bike? Huh? And all of a sudden, like an hour later, my dad comes back and he's like, look, I put a trailer hitch on it so you can pull the other trailer. And I'm like, why do I need to pull the other trailer? So we can get more. And I'm like, I didn't need it. You and mom need it so you can pull more. So yeah, so that was it. So when we went on trips, so now he could pull a trailer and I could pull a trailer so that he could get more crap.
Well, I've got so you know how like camp food, it's usually like this, if you had water too, like freeze dried crap. It's usually full of garbage, like soy and whatever.
Yeah.
I found some stuff from a place called Nutrient Survival. That's actually like, it's good stuff. It's, it may taste funny, but it's actually decent stuff. So I've got all that food. It's got to go in one saddle bag. I've got water and cooking utensils that got to go in the other. I've got a like 60-liter bag for my clothes, another 60-liter bag for my camping gear, another bag for my other riding gear's got to go on there. And the trunk of the bike is all the electronics. So my camera set, my drone kit, that's all got to go in there. And then I just ordered a motorcycle backpack because I have to take a laptop with me because I have to upload my footage every day. And it's like, I'm not doing that from a tablet. That's not going to work. So I'm sitting there going, well, the other reason taking the Pan Am is because it's got these hard, like aluminum panniers on it, aluminum saddlebags.
Yep.
So I can actually overload it a little bit. Whereas on the Harley, they're all plastic and fiberglass. So they'll just snap right off. So that'll be interesting because I've never had them that much weight in the back of that bike. But, as long as I don't do what Charlie Borman did the day he left for Long Way Around, he throws his leg over the bike. And they had just learned how to do off-road bikes. And he throws his leg over the bike, and the whole bike just goes this. That does this on its engine guard. And as long as I don't do that, my start flying, I'll be fine. But
that'd be great.
We're gonna, like I said, I was gonna go from here to Pasco and spend the night, and then go from Pasco to Boise. But Pasco's only like 100 miles away, so I just get to Boise, and then I'll visit a couple of OCR friends down there. And then I know that one of my friends down there, her and a team are going to Utah to race. I was going to stay in Utah and help out because I don't really want to race Utah right now. But I'm looking at my trip plan going, I don't have the time. I have to keep going. So they may follow me and do some filming for them, or I may caravan with them and they'll do some filming for me while we're caravanning. And then be able to get to Ogden and go see our buddy Ted down there. And
Teddy.
Love that guy. Go see Ted down there. He told me last time I was there doing a deca mile. Why didn't you call me? Because I didn't think about it. But
remember, his real name's Freak Show.
I know, Freak Show. I'm coming. I'm coming down there soon. I'll be there the end of next week. And then I'm hoping that when I get to Harley Davidson, it'll be the very last day of the 120th anniversary celebration, because they have a boatload of bikers coming in from all over the world. And I really don't like crowds that much. So I want to be there as those bikers are going, okay, we're leaving. Like, okay.
Yeah, see you later.
I get to see the museum without you people here. Okay, bye.
No,
So people can follow me on the trip at NarrowWayMoto.com. They can look at it's NarrowWay Moto on like almost all the social medias. Facebook, I think I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I don't do TikTok because TikTok's evil, but there'll be content every day, hopefully. And people can donate. There's a link that people can donate to our local YMCA if they want to. But it should just be nice for people to catch up with me on the trip. And again, if anybody wants to come riding with me, any part of this trip, just look where I'm at. If you want to meet up and send me a message, and we'll meet up for a while and ride. And, yeah, it'll be good. And then I get back and it's gung ho it'd be rest for about a week, and then get back to my real training for my trifecta weekend.
Oh, yeah. Well, we will definitely post, the links to all that, when we post the episode, so people can find you. The best of luck. I mean, you're going to do amazing.
Thanks.
If you need anything along the way, you know how to find me. I mean, you are
Yes,
family.
sir.
We will help you any way we can. So,
But appreciate you, brother.
We're getting close to that hour mark, so I should probably let you go.
Yep.
Anything you want to tell our listeners in closing?
Don't quit. No matter what happens, no matter what people say to you, no matter what people try to make you feel, don't quit, because quitting is never an option.
No, it's not. Quitting is never an option. Just pound through, keep going. No matter what anybody says, you're good enough. You can do this.
And you're qualified.
You are qualified. And the second you say you're not qualified for something, that's when you should be doing it, because God damn it, you are.
Hoorah.
Hoorah.
All right, brother. Catch you later.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the BeastNet podcast. If you haven't done it yet, find us on Facebook, like and share the podcast. Give us a review on iTunes or Spotify. All these things will help to expand the show in the future. Don't forget to subscribe and let us know what you think and what you'd like to hear.